If the idea of drawing perfect flowers stresses you out, don't worry. We're using simple shapes, layering, and brush techniques to create gorgeous blooms without even picking up a pencil. So let's get started. Hi, my name is Lisa Cato. I am the owner of Crafty Door Creations. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make gorgeous, beautiful blooms with acrylic paint. And guess what? No drawing skills are needed. This is perfect if you're a beginner or just someone who wants to have a nice, relaxing paint experience. Okay, so I thought we would do this video because, yesterday was Mother's Day, and I just want to wish everybody out there a happy belated Mother's Day. So I thought this would be great because since it was Mother's Day yesterday, and everybody loves to get flowers for Mother's Day, right? So I'm going to switch the camera position to an overhead so that you can see exactly what I'll be doing and the supplies that we'll need. Okay, so meet me there. Okay, so I am back. I'm going to tell you what supplies that we will need. So we will need acrylic paints, of course, and here are mine. And you just need 3 or to 5 of your favorite colors. So I've got a really nice blue, I've got a pretty pink, I've got a purple, I've got a yellow, and I've got an orange. Then you will need a few brushes, a medium round, a little detail brush, and you might want to have maybe a 1-inch flat. Okay, all right. Then you will need a cup of water. I've got my jar here. Okay. Then you will need paper towel. You'll need a paper towel just to wipe your brush off when you're through painting, when you're washing your brush. A canvas or canvas paper. I'm using some canvas paper. If you notice, I have my canvas paper. It is taped down with some painter's tape. That is because when it gets wet, it'll kind of tend to buckle up, and you know, you don't want it moving around or anything like that. So our canvas paper or canvas in any size that you would like, or a canvas board. So that's an option too. Okay. You will also need, let's see, did I say a paint palette, some sort of a paint palette to put your paints on? I'm just using a paper plate, and that'll be fine. Okay. All right. Okay, so we are going to start with our background. I'm going to put my paints away. We're going to start with our background color. Okay, so I'm just going to use it's called Calypso Blue, but it is just a kind of a teal color. And I'm going to use some white, and I'm going to mix those together, dip my brush into some water first, and I'm going to use these 2 colors, this blue, Calypso Blue, and white, mix them together so that it's a kind of a really pale blue, almost a pastel type blue. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and forth using a sweeping motion like this. Back and forth. And sometimes what I have to do on this canvas paper, my brush tends to drag quite a bit if I don't use, if I don't put my paintbrush into a little water, because I don't know, something about this, it's just because it's the canvas paper. But what I'll do is just occasionally dip it into some water, or make sure you have plenty of paint on your paintbrush. Okay, so I'm going using these kind of back and forth, gentle paint strokes, back and forth like this. And I'm just kind of mixing the white in with the blue to make it a really pretty, it almost looks like a sky blue, but anyway, it's a very pastel color. Almost looks like a sky. So, you know, it'd be a perfect background for your flower picture. All right. So we're getting that done. And I might even, okay, I'm going to, in just a little bit, I'm going to quit talking because I might just speed this up since this is kind of taking a little while. So I'm probably going to speed this up. Okay, so how are you doing with your painting? Or did it feel relaxing, or were you stressed out? So you can put something in the comments, how you were feeling painting this. I felt pretty relaxed. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this because it's wet and we need it dry. Okay, so I really like that little heat tool. Now, if you would like to know where I got it, I put a link down in the description of where I got that. If you don't have one of those, a hair dryer, a simple hair dryer on low will do just fine. I wouldn't put the heat very high because sometimes um, it can buckle, make a paint buckle, so you don't want that. Okay, the next thing that we're going to work on is we're going to work on having some centers for our flowers. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of this orange, and here I've got the orange right there. Okay, and then maybe some yellow. So our flowers will probably have a little bit of orange and a little bit of yellow. So I'm going to use my round tip brush right here. I'm going to use that to do our flower centers. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of this orange, and I'm just going to put a little round, just kind of a blob right in here. I'll make a couple of them. It doesn't really matter, you know, where you put them. Okay, and then I'm going to do a couple of them in yellow. Okay, so just figure out a place where you want your flower to be. Here we go. All right, so there's a yellow one. All right, and then I'll do another one. I don't know, maybe right in here. Okay. All right, so that's our flower centers. All right, now we're going to start with the petals. Okay. All right, so I think maybe I will use a pink petal for one of my flowers. And then maybe, let's see, maybe a purple one for one of my flowers. And then maybe a blue. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's start with the blue. Okay. So with your um, brush, you're just going to put it down, and you're going to act like it's a stamp, and then just lift up. Okay. There you go. All right, and then you can do another one. You're going to push down and lift up. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of go around. Push down, lift up. All right. Okay, so whoops, going to go push down and lift up. All right, and now push down, lift up. And we can also, you can push down, lift up. Now, as you're lifting up, you want to release the pressure. So you're going to push down and then lift up. Okay? So push down and lift up. And push down and lift up. Okay, push down, lift up. And I know that our yellow is kind of getting it, but that's okay. We can just take that yellow and work it into the flower. So here's some of our layering. So we would just take that from the center and just go into our flower. So here's some of that layering. It makes it a little bit more interesting. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get some more of the blue paint. I'm going to put one right here. Push down, lift up. Okay. Push down, lift up. All right. There we go. There's our flower. Now we could also, oh, I think I want to do another one right here. Down, lift up. Okay. All right. Now you could also get another color to put onto your flower. I'm going to kind of let that dry for a little bit. Let's start in with one of our other flowers. So let's do a pink flower with this one. Okay. Push down. We're going to do the same thing. Push down, lift up. Push down, lift up. And push down and lift up. Push down and lift up. And we're just going all around the center. Push down and lift up. You could even kind of do a little twist as you're coming up. So push down and lift up. Push down and lift up. Push down and lift up. See how easy this is? And it's fun. Push down, lift up. Push down, lift up. Push down, lift up. Okay. All right. There we go. Now we have another flower over here. And we could do the same thing. We could pull that center in, that orange, into the pink. Pull that in. All right, there we go. I'm going to rinse my brush. All right, now how about we make a purple one? So I'm going to take a purple with this yellow over here. I'm going to do the same thing. Push down, lift up, push down and lift up. And I know I'm getting some of that yellow into that. That's okay. That's okay. It just makes it look interesting instead of, just kind of ordinary. Push down, lift up, push down and lift up. And like I said, as you're lifting up, you can kind of twist this brush around. Okay, push down and lift up, push down, lift up, push down and lift up, down and lift up. All right, and let's take that middle and go into the flowers. All right, okay, that looks really pretty good. All right, now let's see. What are we going to do for this flower right here? Okay, I'm going to use that blue that we used from the for the background. Okay, push down, lift up, push down and lift up, push down and lift up, down and lift up. All right, okay. Let's pull that some of that orange center into our flower. Okay, all right. Now we're going to make them a little bit interesting. So we're going to take a white and like with this blue, we're going to mix white in with this darker blue. See what I'm doing? I'm taking a little bit of white and I mix it with the darker blue to make a lighter shade. All right, so now I'm going to kind of do the very same thing. Push down, lift up, push down and lift up. You see how we're layering? We're layering onto this blue paint. And it makes it look a lot more interesting than just, you know, the what we had. You see? Okay. All right. You see how interesting that looks with the layers on it rather than just flat and plain. Okay. So we're going to do the very same thing. We're going to add a little bit of white to this pink, make it a lighter pink shade. And we're going to do the same thing with this pink color. Okay, so we're going to layer and we're going to do the very same thing. Push down, lift up, push down, lift up, down, lift up, push down, lift up, down and lift up, push 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 down and lift up. Now see how interesting our flower looks? Okay. All right. And the very same thing with the purple. We're going to add a little bit of white to this purple to make it a lighter shade of purple. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to layer on top of this flower using the same technique that we've done with the others. Here we go. I think once you start to do this, you could do this all day long and make all kinds of pretty flowers. You can make a whole bouquet. Okay, so now with this blue that we just did, we're going to do the same thing. Add a little bit of white to this blue and we're going to layer it on top of this one. Okay, there we go. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add, I know you think, okay, what else could you do to that flower? I'm going to add a little bit more white to my palette and then we'll take maybe get some white and we'll take maybe this little skinny brush and we'll just add some little little highlights to our flower. So we're just kind of adding some highlights. Okay, dip it in a white. We're just going to be adding some highlights to it. All right. Okay, same thing with some of the other flowers. Just add some highlights. All right. Okay. Okay. I actually did not rinse my brush on this one when I was doing it. I didn't rinse my brush. And that white with a little purple, that looks kind of cool, I think. And sometimes, just like Bob Ross says, happy little accidents. But anyway, so now what you can do now is you can use this detail brush, and with the end of your brush, you can take some of this orange and just kind of make some dots in the center with your orange. Okay, just some little random little dots right in this into the center. Okay. All right. You could even take do a few white ones. All right. Okay. Now we've got just some flowers that are just kind of in midair, don't we? We need something else with our flowers. So we need some leaves, right? We got to have some leaves. So we're going to still take our round brush. We're going to, I've got some green right here. So we're going to take some green. We're going to put some green onto our brush. And we're just going to place some leaves over here. I'm going to do one right here. Now kind of the same idea is to push down and pull up. Okay, but if you want to make it more like a leaf shape, you can kind of think of a football, the shape of a football. So that's what you can kind of do. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put another one over here and pushing down and pulling up and I'm kind of twisting as I'm coming up. And then I'm just going to kind of round it off, give it that football shape. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put one right over here next to this flower. Okay. And I'm going to do another one right over here. All right. And maybe we'll have one right here. And right here. Okay. And then one over here. And right there. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, to make it a little interesting, we can mix our green in with our yellow and give it a little bit of a highlight on top. Okay, you want to kind of do the highlight on top because you're thinking of the sun is coming down here. So think of this, the highlight should be on the top of the leaf. Down on the bottom should be darker. So we're just doing a little bit of a highlight on top of the leaf. Each leaf. Maybe not these down here because they're probably shaded from the sun. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, what we can do, we can take our little detail brush again, and we're going to dip it into the green, and we're going to make some stems. Okay? We're going to make some stems going down, just kind of a little squiggle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So we've got our stems. Make sure that you connect it to your leaf. Okay. All right, I'm going to do another one. Okay. All right. And this one is going to be kind of coming out from behind. All right. Now, okay. And that is about it. Okay. Now, if you feel like you want to do anything else, feel free to add any more details that you would like. But this is pretty much it. Now you just need to let it dry. Enjoy your painting. Okay. Now you see how each flower is different and unique? Well, that's the way it is in nature. You know, this one has a little bit of purple in it. This one has a little bit of orange or yellow. It's a, you know, they're unique, just like in nature. And there you go. You just painted a beautiful flower picture without any drawing. No drawing needed. So, if you enjoyed painting with me today, make sure that you give me a big thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'll always know when I upload another video. If you like this video and would like to see more beginner painting videos, like the one I did the last time on the sunset, make sure that you subscribe and also hit that bell notification and like my video, because I'm going to be doing more and more of these kind of videos. So I'll see you the next time right here on this YouTube channel. Okay, bye.